This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Will, a Wonderful World. In the last episode, we dealt with the black box and the disasters in Unit 4, and, well, fixed it to the best part, and, or did we just do... Yeah, I've taken a break since then. I think we finished that, and then we did Kang's story as well, I believe. So, anyway, in this story, we're going to continue with Alicia's story. An 18-year-old boy sounds vulgar. Or, hopefully, it's pure, man. JL7042. The flight from Hong Kong to Tokyo. This was my first time on a plane, yet I wasn't as excited as I imagined I would be. I closed my eyes, hoping I would fall asleep until landing. After all, the plane encountered some turbulence. We're gonna have some turbulence! My face tightened a little, not just because I was scared, but because I was annoyed that it disrupted my dream. I was dreaming of Carlos. How long has it been since you really thought about him anyway? It's been like 4 years probably, right? In the dream, we finally got to see each other again. It was late night. Even though we had not seen each other for such a long time, neither of us had said anything. It was so dark that I couldn't even see what he looked like as a grown-up. His lips moved. He was about to say something, but suddenly the ground beneath us morphed into an enormous wave and swept me away. I opened my eyes. The boy next to me handed me one of his earbuds. He probably thought I was afraid. Some tender music was went out in the earbud. I smiled at him with gratitude. He had short and curly dark hair. He looked like he was about 18 years old. Carlos would be around the same age now. Don't worry. He's in the middle of being a gang member in Hong Kong somewhere. He's having fun. He's fine. I fell asleep again though. I didn't go back to the same dream this time. 4 hours later, at the front desk of the Prince Hotel in Shinjuku, I was checking in. Coincidentally, I ran into the boy who was next to me on the plane. He also coincidentally, his room was right next to mine. Coincidentally. Convenient, more or less. He said his name was Ren Yi. He was here on a trip by himself and suggested that we could travel together if it was okay with me. I agreed, but I would have to wait until after I finished my business here. The sun was about to set when he knocked on my door. He told me that he'd rented a car and asked if he'd like to go on a ride with him all over the beach. Man, this kid's got some chutzpah, if you know what I mean. I said yes. His eyes were a little red. We didn't say anything to each other on the way. He didn't go directly to the beach. Instead, he circled around Shinjuku a couple times at first. If he weren't so upset, I would have almost suspected he'd figured who I really was. I never knew that the target this time was still a kid. Oh, I guess he kind of understood what was going on too. Half an hour ago, I had received an instruction from Ray. The target this time was the person staying in the room next to mine. Ren Yi. He was the only child of the boss of Lin Inc., who ran the Black Dragon gang. Whenever Ray gave me an assignment, I never questioned the reason, although this time I didn't really need to ask. The big boss of Lin Inc. was in his final years. Some elders in the corporation had brought out the idea of looking for a successor. Obviously, the big boss wanted to own son to succeed him, and everyone knew it. Why is it that, you know, you think we got out of succession type stuff from family to family with kings and you know, monarchs and stuff like that, but yet they still stick with that mentality in like other organizations that you think wouldn't care about that type of stuff. But you know, you think the son's going to do the exact same as well as the father, which sometimes happens, but most times doesn't. You know, well, whatever. I knew Ray too well. He wanted to be the successor. The gang had plenty of enemies in the criminal underworld. This time, Ren Yi was traveling to Japan alone, without any bodyguards. That was kind of dumb. It meant that this would be the perfect opportunity for Ray to take him out of the equation. It was quite windy by the ocean. There were a couple of tourists hanging around on the beach. I planned to complete the assignment once they left. Just stab his ass. Or shank him. Ren Yi stood there facing the ocean. He closed his eyes and spread his arms. He looked like a bird who was about to ride the wind and fly into the sky. Does he, like, actually know who she is or something like that? Like know her. Not like what she is or what she's gonna do, but like actually know who she is personally. Miss, have you ever thought about what we live for in this world? I fixed my hair that was flying in the wind. For me, is that the kid? Or for me, simply being able to live is good enough. I've never thought about something so deep. Ren Yi kept his posture. Well, do you have someone do you have an important person in your life? I do. I looked at the ocean. He put his arms down. What would you do if you couldn't be with that person? I'd wait. He looked back to me. His face was covered in tears. What if you know that you'll only be waiting for nothing? I suddenly realized I had never thought about this possibility. Miss, I know what you're doing here. I haven't seen any other people like you. Lin Wei unbuttoned his shirt and revealed the numerous horrifying scars on his body. In 2 years, my father will hand the company to me. Miss, you of all people should know how many people want me dead. Of all these years, my only wish had been to be with that person on my birthday. I was born in the winter near Christmas. Mazel tov. I would always dream about the two of us decorating our own Christmas tree, walking along the festive streets and holding hands like a real couple. But year after year, I could never make it happen. I will never be able to make it happen in the future, because you'll be dead like this. I will not let the person I love get hurt because of me. So I can't be with that person, not in this life. I'm tired of a life like this. You're only 18, dude. I think, well, obviously in this story, he's not gonna survive it, but you know what. The last is to just let the beach. He gave me one last smile and started walking into the ocean. The water gradually went over his waist to the shoulder. A few minutes later, I dived into the ocean. I grabbed his hand. I guessed for the salt-tasting air, feeling like I was going to be swallowed by the crushing waves at the very next moment. I lay there on the beach. I was completely wet. Ooh la la. One wave was lying next to me. Why didn't you just let me die? Isn't that your mission? Why? I didn't know. Perhaps I was hoping there would be another possibility for him. If it had been 10 days, I still didn't have a strategy to help him. Although I worked for Ray, I didn't really have all of the information in the organization. Even in the gang, not a lot of people are aware of my existence. Therefore, I didn't have any useful connections. I was sitting on the couch in my room. A bunch of empty candy boxes were piling up next to my hand. Lin Wei must be an extremely important target to Ray. Letting Lin go meant I had betrayed him. I might have made the stupidest decision of my life just out of one moment of sympathy. You're an assassin. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, you were taught that for 4 years, you know, kind of almost, I would say, beat the goodness out of you, but, you know. I heard footsteps in the hallway outside. The person was intentionally keeping them light, so I knew instantly that could be a working attendant. My 4 years of training told me immediately that someone like me, he or she, was as good as this job too. Ray surely wouldn't show me any mercy. Alicia. So, even though he saved her and did all this stuff and probably cared about her and all this other stuff, this one time is all it takes. Well, that's the criminal world for you, folks. Good and gravy is gone. Anyway, let's see if we can answer this, get this. Okay, what do we got? 6 options. Well, luckily it's just her, so we can kind of figure this out. And only 4 options, so I don't think this should be too bad for the most part. Let's see. Okay, let's go with this one first. Lidway was right. I had the blood of over a dozen people on my hands. If I were to be with Carlos, I would bring him nothing but misery. The surface was almost pitch black, beneath which hid many invisible but violent torrents. The water was also much colder than I expected. I could feel the chill in my bones. Lin Wei grabbed my hand and he was guiding me ahead. I suddenly understood. Heavenly Father was giving me a chance for redemption, right here, right now. We held our hands together and disappeared into the darkness. I think Catholicism has a thing about oops, wrong one. I think Catholicism has a thing about suicide, which is basically what you did. So yeah, no, I don't think it was. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's what I know about doctrine anyway. I'm not an expert, but I have a pretty good idea. But oh well, whatever. All right, let's move some of this stuff around and let's see. Yeah, that should be. Oops. Ah, nuts. I hate when I do that. Let's do that again. Okay. Was that what I did? Okay. Okay. Do it. Change bait. Become the non-assassin you were, or someone. Lin was right. The blood doesn't move people. If I were to be a Carlos mission. So some just kid who. I grabbed Lin Wei and we disappeared into the darkness together. So that's the only difference, is that she guides him instead of the other way around. So, yeah, okay then. Sure, why not? It's kind of weird, like, at least in this game, like what, like, just some minor tweaks or decisions will do to change the outcome of the event or whatever. I climbed back up to the beach and looked at the dark ocean. The surface was almost pitch black, beneath which hid many invisible but violent torrents. The water was also much colder than I expected. I could feel the chill in my bones. I dove in a few more times, yet I still couldn't find Lin Wei. He had disappeared into the dark ocean. Some assassin you are. You let him kill himself or get away. I felt as parts of me had disappeared with him. Really? You think so? That's a rank A type of situation? Well, alright then. Sounds good. I think. Anyway, let's keep figuring this out. We only got a couple more left. So okay. Then we should have one more after this. Yeah, this one wasn't too bad. The hair dryer was buzzing. I was sitting in my hotel room drying my hair with my eyes closed. I was afraid. I was afraid that I would see myself in a foggy mirror and that I wouldn't even recognize my own reflection in the dark water. The Pirates of Dark Water? Oh man. I watched Lin Wei as he struggled to breathe. I felt his grip on my hand tighten, then loosen. After confirming his death, I came back up to the beach at a different spot and took a taxi back to the hotel. It was just another assignment. Even if he had lived a hard life, even if he had reminded me of someone, there was nothing else I could have done to help him. But it was just another excuse. The truth was, I couldn't simply stand the thought of leaving Ray. Well, he did save you and all this other stuff, you know, kind of a Stockholm Syndrome situation or whatever. Or Nightingale. Maybe that's the term. Anyway, the same evening, I told Ray about Lin Wei's final moments, but his response surprised me. Starting from tomorrow, you are free. Oh, really? Huh. So, after doing that one last job, she was able to be your own lady again? Although, I doubt she'd be able to, right? After doing something for so long, it's hard to like, kind of let go and no, I'm not going to be singing that song. But, I don't know. That's what I would think, anyway. Most people are stuck in their ways, you know? I mean, you could change, but it takes just like a big-ass push to do that. I was staying in the hotel. I was afraid. Oh, the moment when I disappeared in the ocean. For a second, I thought it was Lin who was floating back away from me from Carlos. I wanted to swim towards him, but what if I had saved him? What else could I do for him? And how would I report back to Ray? The thought dissipated almost instantly. In the end, I followed my original plan. I came back to the beach at another spot. Okay, that repeats. And you will be free. You are free. So it's slightly different. She mentions Carlos more in that one than anything, so I don't see why they'd have two S ones. I mean, maybe it's all about intent, I guess, in this case. Ooh, the mail has come in. Oh, it's been a while for Lin Wei. Cafe across the street, and the guest with a beard, huh? Alright, what's our time we're looking? Oh, we got plenty of time to do that, so, because that one didn't take me too long, so let's continue on with Alicia and the guest. The guest with a beard, you say? 9 a.m. It was the least busiest hour of the day in the coffee shop. I was wiping the glasses carefully with a cleaning cloth. Mama, who loved and happily shared his feminine side, was sitting next to the bar in person. Oh, that's right. That's the cross-dressing dude. Gotcha. For a second, I was like, who? Mama? What? Her mom? Or, oh, I was like, oh, okay. Perusing a women's fashion magazine with occasional letting out a yawn. There was also a customer in a strange hat that had been here since we opened this morning. He put out his eighth cigarette in the ashtray and put down an adult magazine that he had brought with him, left his boots and went to the guest room. There was no one else in the shop but the three of us. I had left Ray half a month ago. I'm surprised you were able to do that. Good on you. I didn't know where else to go, so I came back to Maple House. It still had the same decorations, but not the same people. Raj had gone back to India. Kang had become a legal resident and got married. On my first day back, I told Mama everything about being auctioned off and abused. What happened to Jim that got away? But I let out everything related to Ray. Mama was crying so hard that his entire face went wet. He hugged me so tight and told me, of course, I could come back, and I could stay here for as long as I wanted to. I tried to get back to a normal life. It's hard to do it after you've learned to kill people efficiently for 4+ years. I wanted to save a little money so I could bring Carlos over to live with me. Didn't you have enough money? Didn't Ray give you a lot of money? I mean, you're an assassin. You could... I mean, I assume he had the money. I guess I'm just not understanding. Ring, ring. A middle-aged man with a dark, thick beard had just walked in. I was carrying a glass or pitcher of water when I accidentally bumped into him at the door. Water spilled everywhere. Ah, everywhere. I cut the pitcher 20 centimeters off the ground before it got smashed into pieces. He was carrying an umbrella with a long handle. It was raining heavily outside. My clothes were soaking wet. Water spilled onto my clothes. The black dragon tattoo on my stomach became vaguely visible through my wet shirt. Uh-oh. Yeah, should have gotten that tattoo removed. Oh wait, no, she wouldn't have because it was like a present from Ray, even though she left him. Anyway, I apologized and turned around to go to the back room so I could change into another shirt. I'm in a hurry. I heard something else inside his four short words. It was extremely familiar since a minute. Then I noticed an umbrella out of the corner of my eye. I didn't suspect anything earlier because of the rain, but now I realize that his umbrella was completely dry. I ducked down and sprinted to the kitchen. Multiple deafening gunshots erupted behind me. The meticulously painted walls were littered with holes from the shotgun. I dragged Mom into the kitchen. His fake eyelashes had fallen off. There was nothing but a bloody hole where his left eyeball was supposed to be. Oh, God. Very good. This is what happens when you stick with a gang for too long, but I guess you really had no choice in a lot of matters. His and my blood were spread all over the kitchen floor. Suddenly, I heard a flush come from the restaurant outside and nothing else. He was so confident that he wouldn't even bother coming in to make sure that we were dead. The bearded man must be coming after me. He couldn't be here for any other reason but for revenge. I had made a mistake. I should not have come back. I should not have expected to lead a normal life. My mind was becoming cloudy. Mama, I'm so sorry. It was my fault. Mama, just kill the man. Put the trigger to his head. Or put the gun to his head. Pull the trigger. Now he's dead. Mama, I've got to go. Or however, I know I'm not doing that right, but all right. The cafe across the street. Well, that was fun. Let's deal with another fun situation. I opened my eyes. I saw a white ceiling. I saw white walls. I saw white blankets and beds. I could smell the strong odor of detergent. How did I end up in the hospital? It was very late. There was no one in the hallway. I found the nurse station and asked for my record. It said I got gastritis. Oh, that's after she passed out from the milk or whatever. I never knew gastritis could make someone pass out. I'm actually not familiar with that. I'll have to look that up after this is over. The nurse told me that I was mostly fine. I just needed to take my medication for a couple more days. But it was already too late to be discharged today, so I'd have to wait till tomorrow. She also mentioned that I was a middle-aged man who brought me in. A middle-aged man, you say? Probably could it be him? Or I was starting to do my other voice there for a second. Could it be him? Probably not. There's plenty of middle-aged men out there. Since I was mostly fine, I decided to go home anyway. I couldn't stand the sight of the hospital for one more minute. I had too many bad memories of being in a hospital. Is it just me, or has it been a hot minute since we've had a dictionary like icon appear? Anyway, the young man was standing at the hospital entrance, looking down at the ground. Maybe he was feeling down because a family member was sick too. I walked over to the subway station. At the last crossing, the lights just turned from green to red. I saw two people sitting next to the window of the coffee house across the street. Two very familiar people. Miss Yang. And him. I stepped forward without even realizing it. I had forgotten about the red light. A truck charged directly at me from the side. Its headlights had blinded me. My entire body was swallowed by light. The truck didn't stop after hitting me. I had been left lying in the street when someone found me. It happened to be the same young man who'd been standing in front of the hospital earlier. I was brought back to the hospital, but this time I wasn't mostly fine. I probably would not survive the night. I realized I had so many regrets. Why couldn't I tell him how I truly felt? Why would I always have to be torn apart from the most important people in my life? And he went. So you kind of deal with the gastritis or whatever it is. Then you walk out and get hit by a truck. What are the freaking odds of that thing? Actually, since I hold on a second. I'm gonna actually look this up really quick. Hold on. I'm looking up what gastritis actually means, since the game did not want us to tell us. Can't just. Of course, it's not going to tell me on the main page when I'm looking it up. Let's see. Gastritis describes a varied variety of conditions related to inflammation of the stomach lining. Various factors, including injuries, high pylori infection, excessive use of certain painkillers, and high alcohol consumption can lead to gastritis. In most cases, the condition is easy to treat. Sometimes, however, gastritis causes ulcers, increases one's risk of developing cancer. Ooh, well, there you go. Although I'm surprised it didn't give me the specific reason, or description of what it actually is. I mean, we know it is. Well, anyway, you know, there's certain terms or like description it could have given us, and it was kind of more vague than anything. But all right, let's see how. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to yell at the mic. Let's see. Oh, it looks like they're all at her side, so we have to move them over there. Can we move it up? Okay, so we got a few options. See, what are my? Oh yeah, I haven't done that. Okay, she's got 4. She's got 5. So, okay, well. Oh wait, I was about to say we can do the one side's blank and the other one's other, but it's like, well, it's already blank. So if we just move everything over, let's see what we get, because that'll be the first easy step. I apologize to the guest who had just come in, showed him to a booth and poured him a cup of coffee. Then I went back to the door and started cleaning the wet floor. Then I heard a flush come from the restroom. The guest with the hat walked out. He had walked past the new guest's booth and went back to his own. He took a 9th cigarette out of his pack and put it in his mouth. Then I noticed a flame pop up near the end of the cigarette. I walked over with a carafe, leaned over and refilled his mug. I whispered into his ear. Merry Christmas. Excuse me, but this is a non-smoking establishment. If he were a fellow hitman, he would have understood. The guest with the hat heard my words, nodded gently, put the cigarette back into the pack. The menace that had been brewing in the air suddenly dissipated. It wasn't a regular cigarette. There were probably some more elaborate mechanism inside. I myself had never used the gadgets that were too complicated. They were too complicated. I did sometimes hear that some fellow workers in the field would often use some unusual murder weapons that I had never heard of. He probably wasn't here for me. But if he had insisted upon messing up the shop, the dagger under my skirt would have to stop him. Is it just me, or is it wrong for me to think that's hot? Just me? Oh, just forget you heard anything, viewers. The bearded man put down some cash on the table and left. Soon the guest with the hat gathered a cigarette pack, an adult magazine, gave me a note, and left too. I soon noticed that I was being followed for the next few days. There was more than one tail on me, and none of them was just some random slob. I couldn't tell if he had anything to do with the guest from the day. I asked Mama for some time off and decided to stay at the site alone for a while. At the very least, I could not bring Mama into this. I was drenched in sweat because of the nightmares. Well, now that my clothes were already wet, I decided to go home in the rain. I walked into the heavy rain. Heavy rain, you say? I've thought about recording that. I like that. The game isn't perfect, but I like bits and pieces of it. I walked towards the subway station. At the last crossing, the lights had just turned from green to red. I saw 2 people sitting next to the window of the coffee house across the street. 2 very familiar people. Okay, getting at him. Let's see. Truck charging me. Headlight blinding me. I put them. It's gonna hit me. I lay the street. I think that's new. I lay there in the street. The rain was so heavy that everything around me seemed blurry. I could feel the warmth of my body washing away with the rain. It was getting colder and colder. It was freezing. I struggled and took the phone out of my pocket and opened the recording app. This time, no matter what, I had to tell him how I felt. Mr. Wynn, I think I'm dying. It hurts really bad. I want to tell you something. The day exhibition was actually my birthday. I haven't celebrated my birthday for years, so thank you for the ticket. I really wish that I could see the rainbow in the mountains with you. It must be beautiful. Too bad I probably can't make it anymore. I want to leave you everything I have in my apartment. There's still many boxes of chocolate milk left. Don't let them go bad, please. I really liked your sketch. I was only kidding last time. And the phone fell out of my hand, and it kept recording the sound of the rainfall. The end. Rank B reads the bad end for girl. What next? No. Okay, so alright, just 2 more with her and a couple more with her. Probably should get that just from doing just messing around a bit. Shouldn't take too long, like I said, since they're pretty only so many variables we can go through. So let's see. Let's see what this does. Is that affecting her? No, just miss assessing you. My apologies, the guest just come in, showed him to a booth and poured out a cup of coffee. Then it went back to the store and started cleaning the wet floor. I heard a flush from the restroom. Back his home, just the same. And I want to refill his mug. No, if he would have understood. Back his pack. The bearded man kept glancing over us the entire time. He wasn't our earlier guest either. The dagger under my skirt was ready to be unsheathed. Our eyes met, and then I saw him raising his right hand with the umbrella which had been hanging from the table earlier. He pointed at the guest with the hat and hit me and me. I never suspected the umbrella could be his weapon. What, you never read Batman before? The guest with the hat reached for a cigarette pack, but it was already too late. Multiple deafening gunshots erupted. Dozens of bullets went through our bodies. Blood and flesh went flying out of us, painting the shop a bloody maroon. The end. You suck, Alicia. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Alright. So that's probably her bad endings. Yep. Alright, let's see if we can get the good endings, and then we'll call it an episode. Let's see how this works. It's like if it works for her, why not work for Lin Min? Oh, Lin or whatever. Blood dragon spilled on my clothes. The black dragon tattoo on my stomach became vaguely visible through my shirt. I apologized and went. When I came back, both the bearded man and the guest with the hat had left. I still noticed I was being followed. That's the same. There was more than one tail on me, and none of them was just a random slob. Revenge? Well. Oh, is that it? Okay. Are you going to the subway station? I nodded. Let me walk you there. I've got an umbrella. He showed me the umbrella in his hand and squeezed out a natural smile. We stood on the platform, silently waiting for the last train of the day. Another young couple was there, too. Headlights of the train lit up the tunnel. I was looking at the train and didn't notice what was happening behind me. When I heard the young couple scream, the young man who'd walked me here had already laid down on the rails. I've heard about that before, like, people decide to commit suicide by just letting a train run over them. Jeez. I'm not a fan of obviously not a fan of suicide, and you shouldn't kill yourself. But if you're gonna do it where it doesn't affect anyone else. Because you know what happens when you get hit by a train? They have to well, first, that's horrible. Two, they have to stop the train. It takes hours to because of what happened, and all of a sudden it's like an inconvenience. I don't know. I guess I'm messed up, aren't I? The train kept running as if he wasn't even there. I only heard a muffled noise, drowned out by the wind. Why did the boy randomly kill himself? That doesn't make sense. He was just handed me the umbrella, then laid down on the tracks and died. That wasn't even a bad thing for her. It was a bad thing for the dude with her. That's surprising. Okay, what do we got? Just one more for both? I assume they're S ranks? Yep. Alright. I think this one should be... Yeah, I think that would... That'll be good. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I went back to the room and entered the blanket. Sorry, my allergies are getting to me. Even with my eyes closed, the detergent smell still kept reminding me of where I was. I still couldn't escape those memories. In my earliest memories, my father was the only person I could picture in my mind. He was a great painter because every painting of his was great. He is great. He's a great. What a great. As far as I can remember, we always lived in the big house. It was so big that sometimes I couldn't even find my father. When I was in elementary school, we had moved into an apartment. Father and I would often play with each other in the evening by throwing pillows. Phrasing. When I was in middle school, we had moved into a single-room studio. Most of the space was occupied by his paintings. A few pieces of furniture sat in the rest of the room. We would sleep on the floor when it was bedtime. The place was so small, and many mornings I would wake up and realize that I crawled to my father's bed in the middle of the night. Life wasn't easy, but I was happy. Father began to take on more and more assignments, most of which were not in his style. He would also set up a booth on the street to paint portraits for the pedestrians. Sometimes I would fall asleep before he even returned home. We lived like this for 2 more years. Then at some point, I couldn't remember, Father started drinking. He put ice in his drink every morning, and then he got mad. He spent more and more time inside and less time smiling. He would often tear up his own painting, too. Wow, seems similar to Mr. Wen, if you know what I mean. On that day, Father woke up early in the morning to watch a tennis game while he drank. Empty beer cans were all over the table. His stomach hadn't been doing great in the first place, except Stranko was not helping. I had a huge fight with him. I had never been angrier in my life, and I had never seen Father so mad either. Still, whatever he had done to me, I shouldn't have said what I said. I hate you, Father. Those ended up being the last words I ever said to him. When I came home from school that day, I found the TV on the same channel as it was in the morning. A commercial was on. There were paints all over the floor, and Father was lying in the middle of them, motionless. I I was standing in the corner of the emergency room while I watched them cover his face with a piece of white cloth. He said there was no need for further medical assistance. Death felt so unreal to me at the time. I wasn't able to process any of it. I sat on a hospital bed in complete silence for a long time, until a doctor crouched down in front of me and softly said my name. I finally cried. I cried my heart out. I love you, Father. But he couldn't hear it anymore. I woke up and I couldn't tell where I'd been in my memories. The boundaries between nightmare and reality had been blurred by many tears. I sat up in the hospital bed, sobbing uncontrollably. If only everything had just been a nightmare. My wrinkled blue jacket that smelled like paint was placed softly on my shoulder, over my shoulders. He had come in without me knowing it. He didn't say anything, just quietly put his arms around me. We sat there like this, until the sun came out. Water had spilled on my clothes. No, that's the same. I was about to apologize when I noticed the umbrella in his head. Something was not right. It was a sunny day outside. He was scared for me. I jumped behind the bar, pulling out the gun Mama had hidden underneath. Multiple deafening gunshots erupted outside the bar. The meticulously painted walls were littered with holes made by a shotgun. Mom was hunched over his magazine, and his fake eyelashes had fallen off. There was nothing but a bloody hole where his left eyeball was supposed to be. I stood up behind the bar and aimed at the visitor. Tears, sweat, tears, and blood, and my makeup were smeared all over my face. Suddenly I heard a flush come from the restroom. The door opened quickly, and thin silver thread flew across the air and went through the forehead of the bearded man before my bullet could. The thread morphed into a needle and pinned itself onto the daily special menu on the wall. This is like some anime stuff right here, despite this supposed to be being a more realistic type of story. The guest with the hat walked gracefully at his doorstep with an unlit cigarette to his mouth. He gathered his adult magazine and left. But he left a business card on the table. It had a simple design, but unusual contact information on it. A few words were printed in bold on the thin white card. Zuko. Zuko? What's that from again? That name sounds very familiar. Oh, it sounds... Well, it's not the same spelling, but it sounds like the guy from Last Airbender. Assassin. For business, text 9999966668888. So her S rank is her friend Mama and still dying anyway? How's that an S rank, you know? Well, it's obviously part of the story, and obviously she's being contacted by another assassins. Well, looks like it wasn't a good time for both the girls. One had remembered her dead father, while the other one had lost a close friend and maybe wrapped up in the assassin's world again. But what story are we going to do next? Find out next time in the next episode, Will, A Wonderful World. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.